Righto. So this week we're going to get out of Mansfield. We're going to start in Mansfield. Matthew and Luke, g'day guys. How are you? Loud and clear. Love that, mate. That's good to know. Thanks so much for letting me know there, and all going good. So so this week's trip's going to take us from Mansfield right the way through and come out in Laola. Now, you're probably thinking, that country there, if you didn't know it, well, you're going to be pretty full on and probably not sure whether you should do it or not. Well, definitely going to get you through, and you could take on these tracks with absolute confidence and do them with a couple of your mates. But if you're just starting out and get in some good tracks and going to see some great country, a couple of huts along the way too, a couple of the real iconic real mountain cattlemen huts, the Victorian High Country, going to get past a couple of those. So we'll get started. And again, good to see a few guys here. Bruce and Darren, g'day guys. Thanks very much for coming in tonight. Thanks for sharing tips. No worries. Thanks, mate. Ben, finally got your notification on the phone. Good on you, mate. Thanks very much for coming in tonight. And all you guys, that's awesome. Righto. So again, this is the map. Look, we could have used this one for episodes 1, 2, and 3. But just episode 2 last week, it sort of went off the top of this map. So, but this one here will take us again all the way through from Mansfield right through to where we come out in Laola. So we're going to start in Mansfield again. Head out on the Mansfield Mount Buller Road. So you're now heading up the bitumen towards Mount Buller. And just as you go past go through Mirrumbar, which is the toll booth there, where for you snow bunnies, any of you skiers on there would know where the toll booth is. Where you got to pay for, especially during winter. If you're going to go up and ski up there on the mountain, that's where you got to pay. So during this time of year, well, it's certainly closed because one, there isn't any snow for a start. So as soon as you go through that toll gate, you're going to turn left just on the other side of that onto the Mount Sterling Road. Travel all the way up there on the dirt. Now this is probably, you guys, if you're just starting out, this is probably maybe a good idea to maybe switch over to maybe high range four-wheel drive, because this road all the way through here is pretty windy and a couple of tight corners. Very easy to drive, easy road to drive, particularly when it is dry. But might be a good idea just to throw it in high range four-wheel drive, because some of those corners coming up through here can be certainly a bit skatey and that sort of thing. So worth chucking in high range full drive. Drive all the way up through there till you get to the Y junction there at Telephone Box Junction. And then from there, you're going to take the right-hand branch and then follow that all the way through until you it probably take you maybe about 20 minutes, I suppose, 20, 25 minutes to get from there around to Bindery Road. Now, from Bindery Road, you're going to hang a righty here and then head down to Bindery Road. Now, while you're going down through here, it is certainly well worth stopping in at Bindery Waterfalls. If any of you guys been to Bindery Falls, it's certainly well worth having a look. I was in there about a month or so ago, and certainly a sight to see. It's only a short walk in. It's only 5 Ks. Once you turn right off the Circuit Road, down Bindery Road, it's about 5 Ks. You'll go across an old sort of timber log bridge they've built there. Well, that's where you park your car either side of that bridge, and you'll see a well-defined walking track up into Bindery Waterfalls. Only take you probably about 10 minutes, less than that even, just to walk up in there, have a look at the falls, come back out again, get back in, then continue on Bindery Road. Take that all the way down to the bottom, and then you'll get to the bottom and hang a sharp righty. Now, this is where it gets a bit iffy here, right? Particularly if you're just starting out, and particularly if it's been maybe a bit damp. But in dry conditions only, this is where potentially going to go through cross the Harker River at Bindery Hut there and potentially take on 16-mile Jeep track. Now, this is a track where, if you're just starting out, you might not want to have a crack at this one just yet. If you're going with experienced guys, totally different ball game altogether. And even experienced drivers, I wouldn't be driving this track even in the wet. It's just an absolute no-go zone, I reckon, this track, particularly if it's wet. But other than that, where you get to the bottom of Bindery Road, you hang a righty. We'll just, I'm not for sure, it wouldn't be long, maybe less than a K down there on the left-hand side. You're going to see a track there called Bluff Road, which again crosses the Harker River. It's only a really short crossing across the Harker River. Well, this is certainly an easier option, right, to get you up to where we've got to go. Because then go across there, take Bluff Road all the way to the top. Now, Bluff and 16-mile Jeep track meet exactly at the top up there. So I'd probably recommend maybe taking, Bluff, particularly if you're just starting out, unless you're going experienced guys, well, then maybe have a crack at 16 mile. and get up the top of there. So take Bluff Link all the way up the top. You'll go past 16 Mile when you get way up there. Very easy drive. You'll go past 16 Mile Jeep track there on your right-hand side. And then not far after 16 Mile, you go through the seasonal gate closure. And then just the other side of the seasonal gate closure, you're going to come on to Bluff track. This is where you're going to hang a lefty here. Now, this is where a bit of full driving stuff goes on. And this is the track we're going to take all the way through now to Laola. So hang a lefty there at Bluff Link. Get on there. And if you haven't let your tyres down, you probably want to do it, but well before now. But certainly here is where you definitely want to get some air pressure out of your tyres if you hadn't done it already. Because, I haven't driven this track for a couple of years, but it did have a dozer over it, a year or so ago and flattened it right out. So I'm not sure what it's like at the moment, but you'd still want to get some tyres out. You're going to get some good low range stuff here. And then not long after starting Bluff Link, you're going to come on to one of the very iconic huts for that area, and that's the Bluff Hut. Now, this is worth definitely stopping into. Now, Bluff Hut, unfortunately, is not the original hut that's there now. It was unfortunately burnt down in the 2006-7 bushfires way back then. And then the Stoney family, which that's their traditional mountain cattleman hut, which they used all those years ago when they were running cattle up through there. Well, the Stoney family and a bunch of his mates rebuilt Bluff Hut not long after the fires and that sort of thing. So that's well worth having a look at that hut there. It's a great hut. Stack of history involved with that one, because that is a feed income mountain cattleman hut with big name from that Mansfield Merrijig area attached to that hut. So have a look at that one, check it all out. And then after you finish with there, jump back in, continue along Bluff track. And then about 7 odd Ks after that, it's pretty scenic. It's actually some good scenic drives between there and getting to Lovik's hut. Some good scenic stuff going through there. And it can get some rocky sections, but depending on what it's like at the moment. But again, absolutely nothing that's going to bother anyone that's getting started out. You're going to have a great time going through here. Get some, as I say, you want low tire pressure to run through here. But after you leave Bluff Hut, about 7 Ks past there, you're going to come into Lovik's hut. Now, this is another massive iconic mountain cattleman hut for that area. That's built by the Lovik's family, and this one's never been burnt down. This is one of the fortunate huts that's never been burnt down. It's not the original hut that was built there way back in when the Loviks were running cattle up through there, but the original hut was flattened by snow. Unfortunately, the pitch on the roof was not steep enough back in the days, and snow ended up crushing the roof, and then they rebuilt that hut to what's standing there today. So that's by Lovik's family. Again, they're out of Merrijig, big cattleman family out of that Mansfield Merrijig area. So worth having a look in there. The stone floor in that hut is pretty amazing. The big stone slabs in Lovik's hut came from their cattle yards down there at Merrijig. They trailered them all the way up there to lay them, find a resting place in the bottom floor, in the floor there at Lovik's hut. So well worth checking that one out. It's an amazing hut inside. The bush carpentry in both those huts, both Lovik's and Bluff Hut, are absolutely first class, and certainly well worth checking out. And then you got the big stone fireplace, which my bricky trowel that's now got the point cut off it. It actually laid a few stones in the back of that fireplace. Back then, we were giving Charlie and all his mates a hand there with the rebuild, and so pretty passionate and pretty close to that hut. Must get back up there at some stage and check it all out. G'day, Game. How you going there, mate? Ben, good on you, Matthew. Are these tracks seasonally closed? Yeah, good question there, actually, Matthew. Actually, these pretty much the whole 3 episodes that I've given you pretty much all affected by seasonal closures. And this one now is full on absolute no-go zone once the track's close. But yeah, that's a good question there, Matthew. Are they affected by seasonal closure? So yeah, so you can only do this whole circuit up until the tracks close that first Thursday straight after Queen's birthday weekend in June is when you won't be able to get in and do this. So try and get it done before then. And then after you finish at Lovik's hut, and Lovik's is probably a great place, even maybe spend the night there, make that maybe the first night. Like this trip we're going to do now, this would be a cracking 3-nighter, three-day trip. Look, you could rush it through in a weekend, but geez, it would be a fair income big trip if you want to do it in 2 days. You could, absolutely still could do it, but it'd be a cracking 3 days. So try and set aside. We've got a three-day long weekend coming up in a few weeks, so this could be a good one for it. So, that Lovik's hut, that's a Great spot to camp in around under the snow gums. Not so much in the hut, but camp around the snow gums there around that hut. And fantastic spot there. You actually generally get pretty good phone reception too. For those people that are looking for phone reception, like I'm Optus and I get good phone reception there because you'll get direct towers from there, coverage straight across to Mount Buller with the phone towers up on there. So there's phone reception there at Lovik's and fair way across even between Lovik's and Bluff. There's quite a bit of phone reception through there because you get that, shots across to Mount Buller all the way through there. But after you finish there, get up that next day from Lovik's up and just continue on this track. Now, a lot of the worst section now over the next couple of Ks has certainly been flattened out. There used to be some quite rocky sort of ledgy sections for the next few Ks. Well, they've all gone. Once you get through that seasonal closure gate there, they've all gone. So, but still a really, really nice drive. And then the next spot you're looking for now is Picture Point. Now, a lot of people mistake Picture Point after you leave Lovik's hut. It's only about a sort of a K past Lovik's hut heading towards this way. You're going to come to a big open area. Well, a lot of people mistake that as being Picture Point. Well, it's not. Even though the view there is pretty good, there's no doubt about that. It is a pretty good view from there, but the real Picture Point is continue past there. You got to keep going past and look out for the sign. You can't miss the normal signs you see out there in the high country. You'll see a sign up there on the left-hand side of the track there, Picture Point. There's sort of a bit of a cut-in into the bank there where you can park up. So worth pulling up in there and get out and do the short walk. It's only about 10, 15 metres up the track there. And when you get to the top of that there and at Picture Point, fair dinkum, it is an absolute knockout view. So especially if you get a good day, worth having a good look at that. Have a good look at Picture Point, then get back in and just continue on. Continue all the way through Bluff Track until you come to the junction there at Brock Road. Now, Brock Road's going to go off to the right, and now you're going to get onto King Billy Track, which goes off to the left, sort of a teeny section track here. Get on King Billy, and this is one that's going to take you all the way through to Howard High Plain. Now, this is again not a hard drive at all, but you're going to experience some rocky sort of sections. It's quite a flat drive through here, really too. So. It's just the rocky sections that are going to slow you up. Now, when I say rockies, you're only talking, sort of this big. We're not talking massive boulders and rock steps and that sort of stuff. But there are a few rocky sections through there, so they're going to be a bit slow going, but really, really nice drive. And you actually cross the top reaches of the McAllister River. For those that have seen the McAllister River, what it's like down there at Laola, she's a raging river. Well, where you cross it on King Billy Track, she's only a little stream way up there. So, you get across the McAllister River and just wind your way all the way through there. And one other site you want to look out for, which actually you can't miss it, just before you get to get up onto the Howard High Plain. And that's the rock scree. Now, these massive pile of rocks that just actually line the side of the mountain there. It's a phenomenal site, and yet I'm yet able to find a geologist who's able to tell me how Finningham these things got there. Because if you haven't seen them yet, you wait till you get there and see the size of these rocks. Some of them are as big as small trucks. They're massive, but there's just thousands and thousands and thousands of them, and the track sort of winds its way through. And sort of crisscrosses this section of rocks, and it's only this one section. It looks like you've had a couple hundred dump trucks up the top of the mountain and just tipped up their load down the hill, because that's exactly what it looks like. But that's not what's happened. But it's quite a sight. So have a look at that, and then when you finish there, just keep winding your way through and get up onto Howard High Plain. And probably night 2, I'd be looking to camp in there. Continue on. You'll go past Butcher Country there, and you're going to go past Zika Spur, which then goes down into Wonnangatta. Continue on and just maybe spend the night at Howard Hut. Night camp there only a month or so ago in one of my videos. We had a cracking storm going on up there. But, camp the night there at Howard Hut. Absolutely fantastic spot there. Heaps of history around Howard Hut with the Wonnangatta murders that happened back in 1918. Well, that's where poor old Johnny Bamford's body was found up through there, and today they remain unsolved. So, Andrew, g'day, mate. How you going? Seeker Spur Track. Down through the staircase. Nice run. Not sure down through the staircase you're meaning there. If you're not talking about the staircase up to Lake Cobbler, well, that's well and truly gone. That's for sure. So that's all going on good there. So then, once you finish spend the night there at Howard Hut, I reckon. That's a great spot there. And up there on Howard High Plains, can get a bit chilly. You're up there at about sort of 1,400 odd, 1,500 odd there. It's all full on snow country, especially over the winter time. So so spend the night there. Check that out there. Great spot to camp up there. Got drop toilets out there at the hut. And then the next day, just get up and wind your way down through Laola. You could even take Kelly's Lane, which is not far. Kelly's Lane's not far down through there. And take Kelly's Lane through and check out Kelly's Hut. That's worth having a look at. And then for those of you who might have seen one of my solo videos I did a month or so ago on on Kelly's Lane. The track comes out on Tamboree Roadway down there. But if you don't want to do Kelly's, just stay on Howard High Plain Road, get down to Arbuckle Junction there, and where it goes off the left, that's going to go to the Pinnacles on Maroka Road, and then continue straight through down to Laola and head your way home back to Melbourne. How's that sound for a cracking 3-day trip? Beauty, I reckon. So here we go. So what do we got going here? Brett, thanks for all your advice. Looking at taking a trip around Laola soon. All from your recommendations. No worries. Look, Laola's a great country, mate, as his trip sort of winds up there. But again, if you're starting out, you wouldn't want to be taking any of those butcher countries, Caledonia, any of those if you don't know, if you haven't been down there before, unless you're going with some experienced guys, because it is pretty full-on steep country where it goes down into there. And then especially getting out the other side, Caledonia up Dingo Hill, where it comes out on Tamboree Road, the other side over there. Pretty full-on country. So you wouldn't be heading down there by yourself. Talking too much. Bit of a cough going on. Don't worry, it's not COVID. Don't worry about that. Land Cruiser, can you recommend a good day snow trip around that Mansfield area? Well, the thing is with snow, mate, it's such a hard one to predict when it's going to happen. The snow season's starting to get later and later. But look, when it's on, anywhere up through Jamison, Mount Terrible's good snow drives. But a really good snow drive, I don't know whether you guys know about it, but if you head out through Sheepyard Flat and head up towards where we've just sort of gone, really up towards take Bluff Link Road up, you can drive up as far as there where we came up on this trip I'm talking about. We came up Bluff Link, then we turned left onto Bluff Track. You can come in the other way and you can drive up from there from Sheepyard, and that is a cracking snow drive. Really, really good snow drive. You can't get any. Once you get to Bluff Track coming up from Sheepyard, that's as far as you can go, because you're going to have a seasonal gate in front of you, and then you got the seasonal gate, which is about a K or so up Bluff Link Track, so Bluff Track. So, but that is a really good snow drive. I've done it a few times, and at an absolute beauty. But the only drama with it, if you're going up there and you get groups in front of you or cars in front of you that are getting stuck, well, it is a pretty much no-go zone to try and turn around in a lot of those spots. That's the only drawback with it. But apart from that, it's a ripper drive. But then if you're lucky enough, to be able to get some snow in May or something like that before the tracks close, well, it's just endless. And if you can get up and see Craig's Hut and that sort of stuff before the gates close when there's snow on it, absolute knockout. So well worth checking that out there for sure. G'day, mate. How you going from Lord Roycroft? The GQ, how you going? Darren, how you go, mate? Can you explain track? Explain tack? Not sure what you mean there, Darren, with that one. If you can maybe let you know what you mean there, that'd be good. Like you're pulling the pin early, camping spot. Don't you? What's that? You like pulling the pin early in the camping spots? What do you mean by that? Not sure what you mean by that one. I haven't been pulling the pin early. Leanne, Kelly's Lane's a great place. Yeah, look, I think you've been up there just recently. So, yeah, certainly is a good spot to go and check out. Got lumps in that gin. I'll tell you what, there's no lumps in it, that's for sure. And it's not gin, actually. It's a glass of water, this one. But, yeah. So, there we go. And Ross, how's things, mate? Going really good. No worries at all. G'day, Rats 62. Patch that little chip on the wall. Yeah. I'll have to, mate, because a few people sort of comment about that one. I used to have a big picture up there, and it did pull a bit of a chunk out when I took it off, which is a bit unfortunate. But I'll get round to fix that up for you, mate. Hopefully, next time it'll be gone. Probably not, though. Can you explain, Darren? Can you explain for the beginners the track difficulty ratings? Explain the double black diamonds and that sort of stuff. Yeah, look, there's most of those double the diamond ratings, they're sort of around that sort of Mansfield area. Like Monument Track is one of them, which runs off the circuit road up to sort of Craig's Up. We covered that in episode 2. Or episode 1, sorry. Monument Track is rated double black diamond, and it's really just to give you an indication, on what they're like. And it's a hard one to sort of say, look, double black diamond, I'd find a piece of cake driving Monument Track, but other people might find a bit difficult. But at least when you come across these tracks, the higher the rating, they're generally 1, 2, or 3. So it's generally 1 diamond, 2 diamonds, or 3 diamonds. And certainly the higher they are, then the more rating that they're, and generally put out by Parks Vic. I think Parks Vic put these out. And it just gives you a bit of an indication on what they think and what you're expecting to, be challenged by in that track going forward. So if you do see one of these signs with either a single black or a double black or especially a triple black, well, you got to pay, and you haven't driven it before, and maybe a little bit inexperienced and that sort of thing, well, you got to probably be a little bit prepared that something's going to come on, whether it be steep or nasty section or something like that. So it's a good idea, but just gives you a bit of indication on those track ratings. Unfortunately, they're not all the way through the high country, but there is quite a few around that Mansfield area that I've certainly seen. So yeah, they're a good thing, just to give you a bit of indication on what's going on there. Matthew, did you work in the high country for years to acquire all this knowledge? No, I've never worked in it. Just driven it for so many years, mate. And just sort of know my way through there. And very rarely got to pull maps out, as you've seen tonight. I've listed all this track names and everything off the top of my head. But yeah, so no, I've just driven it a lot over the years, and just got to know it very, very well from a lot of the years going through. So yeah, so that's pretty much sort of how that works. Chef 77, any chance you could do some more videos specifically around the spares you carry for the GU? Yeah, look, I've got a lot of videos coming up, and that is certainly one of them, because I've got actually a big trip coming up, so which I'm going to probably do quite a few videos when I get back from that, in the way of how I've packed and how I've gone about packing from food all the way through. So there will be some good stuff come through, and I certainly cover some spares and that sort of thing too. I have covered a little bit of the spare stuff in one of my solo tips videos, not the actual solo video, but I did a solo tip video where I covered some of the spares I carry. So maybe check that one out and see how you go with that one. Andrew, try a leg in your, what's that? Try a leg of lamb in port. That sounds pretty good. I don't mind a good port. That might be all right, mate. Wouldn't mind maybe trying that at some stage. Lachlan, what would be your favourite high country hut? Favourite high country hut? Geez, there's a lot of them, mate. Like I said, I'm pretty passionate about Loik's hut. I haven't been back there for a few years, but Loik's is a cracking spot there. I do like that one there. Great scenery, great surrounds around it, and just I've got a real good feel about that hut. I've had some cracking campfires there, especially out the front of that hut there. Just absolutely beautiful spot. So yeah, probably Loik's and Bluff Hut. They're just absolutely cracking huts, because they're fair income iconic mountain cattlemen huts, and we need to absolutely look after them too. So there's a couple there that I'm certainly very, very passionate about there, mate. That's for sure. Are you going to sell me one of your TB trail burger flippers, or am I going to have to go to Bunnings and make one? Yeah, well, mine's not for sale, mate. So you might just go to Bunnings, mate, and just grab a trail off the shelf there and cut the point off it. Probably do the same job. But yeah, mine works absolute cracker. I absolutely love it. So yeah, it's all good. Daz, how have you not what's that? How have you not got a job at the Parks Victoria? Is it because they will give you a Toyota as a company car? Well, actually, they're not even driving Toyotas anymore. They're in the Mercedes G-Wagons now. So yeah, I don't know. I probably don't have the marks for a job at Parks Victoria. Some pretty switched on dudes there, but I tried actually when I was a really young kid, in my late teens. I was trying to get a job as a parks officer down there on the peninsula, but that didn't come off either. So I ended up getting a job and spent the last 30 years in the trade industry. But that's where I went with that. Craig, how do you rate the ZD30? I'm thinking about putting one in my GQ. Righto. Always done the GU axles and conversion and loving it. Well, mate, don't get me started about the ZD30, because, yeah, I'm pretty passionate about the damn things, as with some of the videos that I've made. But Yeah, I've never seen one put in a GQ, so I don't know how that conversion would go. I don't know if Mark's still around. He might be able to give you some tips on that one. But yeah, the ZD30, mate, it's been a great motor for me. I know a lot of people hate them and reckon they're just rubbish motors and blow up and that sort of stuff. But hey, I've been driving ZD30. I know they're a little bit different, but I've been driving ZD30 since 2003, and not one of them has really let me down yet. So, but the other two were in the D22 Navaras, slightly a little bit different ZDs, but yeah, I love the 3 litre and I'm very, very passionate about them. Luca, need to meet up sometime. You look, that'd be good, mate. Somewhere down the track, we might have to try and do that. Jerry, what's the best camping spots in the Vic High Country? Geez, mate, that's just absolutely impossible to tell you the best spot. There's just so many of them. And look, I know the further east you go, past Omeo and that sort of stuff, there's just some amazing country way over there. And so, yeah, it's really hard to sort of put down the best spots, that's for sure. And then after I went, that Snowy River trip I did a week or two ago, man, that's the first time I'd been down in there, down McCallus Bridge, and oh my God, that country down there, absolute knockout. And that camping spot I had, that's pretty up there as one of the best spots I reckon I've ever stayed in. Fantastic spot. So Stuart, what track in all your years of driving in the mighty high country scared the hell out of you? Geez, I haven't really had that many scares out of tracks in the mighty high country. Really got to have a good hard think about that one. Yeah, I'll have to have a think about that one. There's not been many at all. Probably only one major one that really comes out of mind is Lyrebird track. I don't know if any of you guys have done Lyrebird track just out of Jamison. That's a fair and cracking track. Had a bit of a situation on that good number of years ago. Yeah, she's a steep and horrible hill, that one. But apart from that, yeah, haven't really had too many bad situations, which is a good thing. So touch wood on that one. G'day, Rocket, coming from Adelaide. G'day, mate. How you going? Good. Thanks for dropping in. Which is the best way to enter? Have never been there. 100 Series Turbo Land Cruiser. Oh, I suppose, look, where you're possibly going to come in from, you're probably going to come in from that sort of Mansfield sort of area. And again, these areas that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks with some of these trips here, that'd be your best bet, mate, depending on how long you're coming down here from South Australia. But, yeah, that would be your best bet. Work your way through Laola, Dargo, that sort of stuff there, depending on how many days you've got. But, look, you don't have to go doing hardcore stuff. If, just around that Mansfield area, these last 3 episodes we've done around there, you're going to see some amazing country, river crossings, huts and scenic. So, yeah, maybe check those out. But just depends how many days you come down here for. There you go, Mark. There's those questions there for the ZD30 and GQ on you. Mark Roycroft will be all over it. He's a ZD30 man, that's for sure. He's got one or 10 of them in his joint home. So yeah, Jack, how are you going? Just joined, but Mount Terrible is a relatively easy drive and very nice view. Also quite close to Melbourne. Yeah, look, Mount Terrible is a pretty easy run up there, especially if it's dry. If it gets a bit wet, some of those side tracks can get a bit challenging. And you can get a bit of snow up there too. So, during that snow season, because it sits up there about 1,100 odd. So, you generally get a bit of snow up there too. So, a really nice drive up there in Mount Terrible if you haven't been up that way at all. Right, well, that was a pretty good chat with you guys here tonight. And hopefully those episodes that we've done over the last couple of weeks, episode 1, 2, and 3, helping you guys out. If you're just starting out with wanting to know some 4-drive tracks and where to go, they're certainly going to give you some confidence to go and do them as long as it's dry. I'm not going to keep emphasising this fact. Unless you're going with experienced blokes, totally different ball game. So check those out. Get those maps. Well, that one, mate. This is the main map. This one here. Try and get hold of that one if you can get it. I've heard that one actually a little bit hard to get now. I don't know. But try and get hold and get them laminated like that one is. Laminations of your maps is the only way to go. Keeps them in good nick. Righto, guys. Thanks very much there for coming in tonight. Greatly appreciate all your feedback. Wicked having you guys on. Have a great week. Hope you've had a good weekend. And we'll catch you on the next one. Good on you guys. Catch you later on.